Hi, everybody, and welcome to Facebook Live on Sunday. I'm going to go ahead. I want to start out by introducing myself. My name is Anne Marie Heil. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Antonio, Texas. If this is your first time visiting me, you can find me over my blog at stampandann.com. That is my home base, so you can definitely check it out over there. And I would love to have you follow me over there and all that good stuff. A couple of quick housekeeping things I want to get started with is to get started, I do want to let you all know in the description of this video, there are links to all kinds of fun things. There is going to be a link to the measurement and supply list for today's project. There's also links to shop in my online Stampin' Up! Store, so if you do need to pick up any Stampin' supplies, I'm happy to help you out with that. And there's also links to my blog, Instagram, my YouTube channel, which I would love it if you would subscribe over there as well. I do want to let you know that after I do this live video, I will upload it to YouTube. I know some people prefer to watch on YouTube. And for the past couple of weeks, there's been a weird little sound thing. I think it's a Facebook thing. I'm not really sure. I'm hoping it's working itself out. If it doesn't, I'm going to, I think, try to start doing lives on YouTube because it seems to be a persistent issue. So just wanted to kind of throw that out there. Sometimes it's there's like a delay. My voice is ahead of what I'm doing, or is it vice versa? I don't know, but for some reason when I upload the replay, there's like a weird lag time on my voice versus what my hands are doing. So if that happens again, I'm sorry. Please know it's nothing I can control. I'm kind of at the mercy on the platform that I'm using. So anywho, welcome. I am glad you're here today. We are going to make a fun card using a new to me set. This is the Cottage Wreath Bundle and Go-To Greetings. So I shared this card on my blog this morning, so I want to take you through on how to make it. And like I said, if you need measurements and a supply list for this card, they are posted in the link in the description of this video. So if you want to create along with me, you can do that too. So that's what we're going to make today. But before we get to that, I want to start out. I have some prizes from last time Facebook Live. I normally go live Fridays at 4 p.m. Central. This is not my normal time, Sundays at 4. But for some reason, I think a lot of people like to come on Sundays at 4. So I don't know, maybe we might make this a thing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave a comment if you would. If Friday at 4 better for you or Sunday at 4? Do you have a preference? I don't know. Maybe just people are kicking around on Sunday and they're, doing some crafting. I don't know. I always kind of find that a lot of people are getting crafty on Sunday. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So last time I went Facebook Live, this was the card that I made, showed you how to case the catalog, and this is a great card to use up some designer series paper scraps. I lost my train of thought. So we made this cute, bright, and happy card, and we cased the catalog. And so this was the first card that I made, and what I do is for everyone who shares the video, I go ahead and put your name into a drawing to win the card that I make on the video. So this was the card we made live. So I took everybody who shared, I put their name into a drawing, and the winner of our Sending Love and Big Hugs card, that's the inside too, is Deborah Mulverhill Jock. So congratulations, Deborah. This card is going to head in the mail to you. Now, Deborah, I do not have your mailing information. So if you would like me to send this to you, you need to send me your address. And so if you could just send me, it's simple email. All you have to do is just, say Facebook card or whatever in the subject line, and just send me your address. I'll pop this little cutie in the mail to you, and then you can either send it off to someone, put it in a frame. No, I'm kidding. You wouldn't frame it. Maybe you would. I don't know. I'm being a little punchy, but you can do whatever you want with it. But it is a fun little cute card. I love to send happy mail, and I would love to drop this in the mail to you. So Deborah, congratulations. You won for sharing. Now, I did make an alternate card with the same layout, completely different colors. So there were some options. So Deborah won this card for sharing. And then everybody who left a comment on the video, I went ahead and put your name into another drawing. And that winner, oh, it looks like there's a piece of my hair or dog hair? I'm guessing dog hair, sorry. On that post-it note, it's gone now. The winner is Charlotte Cole Lemke. So Charlotte, congratulations, you won this. And then I did a third drawing because I didn't give away a card on that last video because I had taken some time off. So I just picked a random third card from my stash, and this is a fun fall card. It's so grateful, with this beautiful soft seedling set and blank on the inside. I thought this would be a nice card that somebody could use. So I did a third winner for everybody who left a comment, shared. I had everybody's name already in the drawing, so I drew one more, and that winner is Gina Zaremba. Gina, I have your address, so I can pop this little cutie in the mail to you for fall. Perfect season. It's the start of fall. But Charlotte and Deborah, I need your addresses. So drop me an email. I'll leave that up there for just a second, and then I can get these in the mail to you. Now, one thing I do want to let you guys know with prize winnings, I'll hold on to them till the next time I go live, just because I don't want to hold on to them forever. And I realize that some people may not want the happy mail, and that's totally fine. If you don't want it, not a problem. You can either send me a message and say no thanks, or you don't have to say anything at all. And then what I'll do is next time I go live, if the cards aren't claimed, then what I do is I can just go ahead and I can share them with someone else. I'm sure somebody else would love some happy mail. So give me a heart or a thumbs up if you love happy mail. So let's do that. So, all right. Thank you so much. I am so glad you guys are joining me today. So congratulations to all of our card winners. Woohoo! All right, so same thing will apply for today. The card I make on camera will go to one lucky sharer. So please leave me a comment and let me know if you share. Oh, yay, I see hearts and I see thumbs up. I love that. Hi, Pam, nice to see you. And I see I've missed a couple people. I'll definitely go back afterwards and catch up. I think I missed a little. I see Sonia's here, Kathy's here, Michelle. Hello, everyone. Okay. All right, who's ready to get stamping? So this is the card we're going to make today. So I shared this today over for the sketch challenge over at the Paper Players, and I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about that. Hold on, let me bring up the picture. So I am on a design team for a blog called the Paper Players, and we do a different challenge, a creative challenge every week of the month. Some weeks it's a theme challenge, some weeks it's a sketch, a clean and simple challenge, which are arguably not my favorite because that's not my jam, but I'm trying, I'm getting better. And then what else do we have? A color challenge. And then on the weeks that have 5 weeks in the month, we do a tic-tac-toe challenge where you have lots of variety. And the whole purpose is it's just to kind of get your creative mojo working. I hate saying creative juices. Every time I go to say it, I stop myself because I hate that phrase. So to get your creative mojo working. So this week over the Paper Players is Sketch Challenge Week. I hope you can see that okay. I know there's a little bit of a glare. Okay, it's a little dark, but anywho, so it's Sketch Challenge Week, which is always my favorite. And I'm sorry, I think I should have dialed up the brightness on this before I got started, but hopefully you can see the sketch. But basically, so what we do over on the blog is we share the sketch. Here it is. So that's what your card's going to look like. You can put any shape here, sentiment here. You can flip the sketch. You can do all kinds of fun things with it. As long as it resembles the original sketch, it works for the challenge. And whether you want to share, you can actually upload your card over at the Paper Players. Here's the website. .blogspot.com. There's a link where you can upload, and I know some folks who watch me here play along with the Paper Players, so thank you so much. But you can upload your card, and then what we do is we feature winners every week, and just kind of gives you, little opportunity to share your creativity. But you can link up, and you can link up from Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. If you have a blog, you don't just have to have a blog. You just have to have your project picture somewhere on social media where you can upload a link. But you can share over there, or if you just follow along with us over at the Paper Players for some creative inspiration every week, check it out. It's every Sunday. The challenge is open till Friday at noon for voting, but you can go back and you can use this inspiration anytime. But I love sketch challenges because I love taking a basic sketch, and just kind of having some fun with it. So this was the sketch for this week. And as I went through and kind of perused my stamps, what I usually do is I'll look at the sketch and then I go through all of my stamps and I think, what sounds good? And I know this is kind of an any shape situation right here. For some reason, I thought it would be really cool. I kind of got hooked on just that shape being there. And this is a new to me stamp bundle, the country wreaths. I always get it wrong. Cottage wreaths. And so I remembered, hey, I just got this. And I thought, how fun would it be to kind of do a little hanging wreath action? So that was the inspiration for that. But I wanted to point that out to you and share the Paper Players website if you wanted to go check it out and play along with us. Like I said, you don't have to share anything if you don't want to publicly, but if you want some, creative inspiration, getting you going for, just sitting down and making a fun card, I would definitely check it out. So this is a card we're going to make, and I am using the Cottage Wreaths Bundle. Now this is in the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog, the July through December mini catalog. And again, if you need links for anything that I'm using today, you can find that on the link in the description of this video over on my blog at stampandan.com. There's a link to everything. So if you need to purchase any of these items, there's a link at the very end of the blog post. It'll take you right to my website and you can go ahead and pick them up. Okay, so Cottage Wreaths is really kind of cool. There's a small picture here, but the stamp set, the coordinating dies, and here's what's cool. I actually didn't use any stamps on my card. The dies have enough fun little pieces in them that they can be workhorses on their own with or without the stamp set. But I like having the bundle because they do coordinate, and you get 10% off when you buy the bundle. So it's a good deal too. But anyway, I just used the dies for this. And then I also used in this suite of product. Hello, Deborah. Nice to see you. This is the Gingham Cottage collection. You can see all that beautiful inspiration there. I use the Gingham Cottage paper. That was kind of my starting point when I decided what stamp set I wanted to use. So, and this, I just kind of wanted like a farmhouse chic kind of a color. I've been using a lot of fall colors lately, and I'm getting a little burnt out on them. So I kind of wanted to do a little bit different color palette. So this is a little bit different. I don't know that I've ever combined these colors together, but I kind of like how it came out. So anywho, let's get this card started. We are going to start out with, hello, Nora. Thanks for sharing. And Diane's here too. Hello. You two are sisters, right? I'm so glad you're joining today. All right. So I'm going to start out with gray granite, which I love this. I think it's a beautiful gray. It's kind of got, I don't know, a warmer undertone to it. It's really pretty. So our card base is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Again, if you have visited me before, when I do cards in this orientation, this portrait orientation, I like them to open top to bottom. If you like your card to open like a book, you'll just have to adjust your measurements. I just like them to open this way. It's just a habit of mine when I make cards this way because they tend to photograph better when they stand up this way, and it's just a habit I've gotten into. So anywho, that's our card base. We'll burnish that fold right now. Didn't do that. And then I'm going to use a piece of garden green and then the gingham cottage paper in So Saffron. Now this has a nice big bold gingham on one side, and then it has, hi Lisa Harden, it has this more muted gingham color pattern on the other side. And I just kind of like this. It gives a little pop of pattern, but it's not too overwhelming. So this one is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/8 inch. And again, all measurements are over my blog if you miss anything, or you can always go back and catch the replay too. So this is pretty easy. We are going to just assemble this. With this card, with the wreath being the star of the show, I really didn't want to kind of create a lot of extra background noise on this because I had started playing around with ribbons a little bit because I love texture and embossing and things like that, but it just felt like it was a little too heavy. I felt like the pattern got the job done. We didn't need to overcomplicate it. So I'm just going to adhere these layers together. I'm using my trusty liquid glue. I think I fixed, last time I went Facebook Live, I was super heavy-handed with liquid glue, and I'm not usually. So I think I fixed myself. I don't know what happened. Let's stick that down, and then it just dawned on me. I thought I wrote down the measurements for the next layer, but it's okay. We can measure them. They're not that complicated. This isn't that hard of a card. Okay, so just pop that on there. There's just something about, for me, gray and yellow together. What do you guys think? I just think it's so pretty together, and so saffron is such a nice yellow. I have a little straggly piece of paper there. But so saffron is such a nice light yellow, and I think it looks so nice with gray granite. And then garden green is not normally a green that I gravitate for, but I think it really works with this card. Okay, so next up, I have another layer, another piece of gray granite. I love layers. So, and hold on, I'm going to actually have to pull 3 inches by 4 1/4. 3 inches by 4 1/4 for this next layer. And then I just have a piece of basic white. And this is 2 7/8 inches by 4 1/8 inch. Okay, there you go. 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. Just a little 1/8 inch smaller. Now, the only stamping that's on this card is the sentiment. So we're going to do that now. I'm going to use the Stamparatus, or the Stamposaurus as I call it sometimes. So this is a stamp positioning tool, and what I love about Stampin' Up! Stamp Positioning Tool is you get perfect placement every time, and I have already measured exactly where I want this to be on here. So this is great if you're mass producing cards. Just makes it easy to get the right placement every time. I hope this is straight. I had to take the stamp off to put the sticker on. And don't get your magnets too close. That's a pro tip. These magnets like each other, so they'll grab each other. Okay, now I'm using the sentiment from Go To Greetings. I think this is a stamp set. If you don't have this one, I think this is a stamp set that everybody needs. It's 4 of your most used sentiments. Well, 5. There's a hello there too. There's one extra little bonus one. So there's 4 of the sentiments that all say the same, a bonus hello, and but they're in 4 different fonts. So if you want something a little bit more elegant, if you want something a little bit more playful, or something a little bit in between, I think this is a great set, and it's just one of those sets that I think is timeless, and it's perfect for all occasions. So if you're just getting started as a stamper, I think this is a great set to invest in, because it has happy birthday, thinking of you, thank you, just a note, and hello. I mean, what more do you need, right? So they're pretty basic sentiments to get started. So I actually really liked this set for this card, because in the Cottage Wreaths set, there really wasn't a sentiment that kind of fit the space as much as I wanted it. So that's why I opted to grab my good old trusty sentiment set. Okay, we're going to ink that up in Garden Green. Oh my gosh, I pushed too hard, you guys. Okay, that's sloppy stamping. Don't do that. Cardstock has 2 sides for messy stamper here. So we're going to flip that over, and we are going to try again. Let me clean this stamp off. Wow, that was not pro stamping right there. Ooh. So we're going to clean that off, and we're going to start all over again like it never happened. Another tip I want to share with you is when you're using your Stamparatus, a good tip is to place another ink pad underneath this little hinge platform, because it makes it nice and flat. So when you're inking up, you're not pushing down too hard. It gives you a little bit of a level area to put your ink on. So just a pro tip. I'm not saying that that's what I did, but I just think I was being sloppy. That happens sometimes, but luckily we can just flip the cardstock over and start again. It doesn't look like I have any halo. Phew. Much better. Okay, so from that to that, much better, right? Okay, Hi, Andy. Nice to see you there. I don't know why my voice got all raspy all of a sudden. What happened? Let me take a sip of iced tea. Okay. How's everybody doing out there? How's your Sunday going? Anybody doing anything fun? Is football back on? I don't know. I hear it is. As you can tell, I'm not a big football fan. I'm just going to run, this is the back of my cardstock. I'm just going to run my bone folder around the edges to just kind of smooth out some of those layers since we had to flip it over. But it's fine. And no one will be any the wiser about my little oopsie on the back. My husband he's watching something downstairs. I don't think it's football. I think he's watching a movie. But we're more basketball fans in this house. So I live in San Antonio, so we're big Spurs fans. But overall, that's really the only professional sport I watch. I don't know why. I used to watch other sports, but I haven't anymore. So, I see Andy says watching the Seahawks. So yes, it is football time, or as I affectionately like to refer to it, sports ball. From somebody who doesn't follow football. Karen is watching NASCAR at the same time. Okay, NASCAR is something I've never watched. I don't know anything about. So it's kind of interesting. There's all these fun little sporting things out there that maybe I should take up a new hobby, put it on in the background. I started a new Netflix series, which I don't know. I probably shouldn't even share this because it's super dark and creepy, but there's a new Netflix series about Jeffrey Dahmer. I just started that. And it's not like it's like, it's the happy-go-lucky new series of the of the season. It's not. It's terrible. But yeah, that's what I just started on Netflix if you want to know. But if you know anything about me, I'm a little obsessed with serial killer documentaries. Don't ask. I'm not a creeper, I promise. It's just a thing. So it's just an interest. I love podcasts and documentaries. I don't know why. I find it fascinating the way their minds work, but I am going to digress because the more I talk about that, the more I sound like kind of a Looney Tunes. But it's just an interest. That's all. Not that I'm interested in being a serial killer, but I'll just stop while I'm ahead. I hope you guys are laughing. Lisa, you don't watch them anymore because sports is dumb and stamping is better. You're so funny. I like watching sports. I have the attention span of a gnat when it comes to stuff like that. And football, I'm just going to ramble while I'm taking these dimensional backings off. But football for me doesn't move fast enough. And I don't know. It's just, I just get really distracted and I just can't stay focused on it. So I learned a lot about football. My husband taught me everything I know about football. So I understand how the game works. It just doesn't move fast enough for me. And that's probably why I don't have an interest. But I think it's fun if I'm really into it. But I'll quit while I'm ahead. Oh my gosh, Lisa says, my BFF watches a lot of crime and serial killer things. I think it helps to keep her husband in line. That is so funny. I always tell my husband, just be careful because I know a lot of secrets. Not that, oh my gosh, I shouldn't even say that. Not that I would ever do anything, but yeah, he gives me a hard time because he knows he saw it come up on Netflix and he said, oh, do you want to watch this? And I said, yeah, of course I do. So, okay, back to the card. We'll get back on track here. So I just went ahead and adhered this layer and I put this on with Stampin' Dimensionals. Now on my original card, I do want to share with you, I spent a lot of time doing little tiny pieces of Stampin' Dimensionals around the back of the wreath. In retrospect, I'm not going to do that for this card. I just want to see the difference. And I'm going to use the dimensional here on our little leaf cluster. It wasn't too terribly difficult to cut the mini dimensionals. That wasn't the problem. I just felt like it added a lot of bulk for mailing. So I want to try it the other way. We're going to glue it down for the other one and see how it comes out. So I made this little wooden shelf board, whatever, if you will, to kind of hang our wreath from. And I went through, this is soft suede, and I went ahead and I embossed this with, I always forget what this is called, timber. This is the timber embossing folder. And you can see it has some beautiful like wood grain background, so it just kind of gives it a little bit of texture. And then I'm going to punch either end with the Banner Pick-a-Punch, which is fun to say. Hold on, that's just the right size. This is a 1/2 inch strip. It's 1/2 by a little over 3 inches. I just kind of grabbed a scrap, but I'm just going to cut a banner end, but it fits perfectly in there, so it's not moving freely. Okay, and then we'll cut 2 banner ends, and then I just want it, I think I'm going to take just a little bit more off. Famous last words, when you go in to take just a little bit more off, that's when it gets sloppy. So there we have it. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we've got Banner's Pick-a-Punch. I'm putting all the stuff that I'm done with out of the way. Okay, so right now what we need to do is do our die cutting. So I wanted to share a fun tip with you about these wreath dies. Let me pull the bits. Okay, so this is the Cottage Wreath dies. And I wanted to share a fun little tip with you. Do you have these? First of all, leave a comment. Let me know if you have this bundle. I'd love to hear from you. But this is a fun little tip that I came up with. So as you can see, I don't know that I came up with it. I discovered while I was playing. I don't know. I'm not claiming to be the inventor of this. I'm just saying I discovered it while I was playing. I'll choose my words wisely. So there are 2 different wreaths. The first is an outline wreath that has some little leaves that pop up. I don't know if you can see, but there's like multiple layers of leaves in there. The gray granite actually has the leaves that pop up, and I'll show you that when we start cutting. So, and then there's an inside like filler wreath, if you will. So we're going to just take these out now so I can show you. And what I did, where's my little sample wreath? Here it is. Okay, so I cut out just one of these sample filler wreaths just so you could see it. I'm going to flip it over so you can see how it cuts. Now what I did, you're going to see I have 2 little blue dots on my wreath. So I'm going to put them side by side. Now, what I did when I was putting this together was I figured out that when you cut these and when you go to adhere them together like I did on my card, actually it's easier to know exactly where they line up. So there's a lineup point. And I don't know if this will make sense. I'm going to show you. This is the filler. This is this wreath. And there is an area on one side where these 2 leaves are kind of together. See how they're not like separated like some of the other leaves are? There's a same point on the outline wreath that has that area where the 2 leaves are filler leaves. So let me put this in here to show you. So when you find the 2 leaves that are kind of put together, this is how it'll cut. And we're going to cut one, so I'll show you. But I just found when you do your cutting, if you know where that point is on here, it just makes it a little bit easier to assemble the 2 wreaths together. So I hope that makes sense. Hopefully I will, if I did not explain that better, I will do it better visually. So let me bring in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Deborah says she just got this bundle. Well, good. I hope this little tip, maybe once you see it in action, will help you out when you're adhering them. Okay, so here's my outline wreath, and I'm going to do that in gray granite. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the filler wreath in garden green. Hopefully I can do these 2 at the same time. Okay, we'll run this through. Hold on, I'm trying not to shake. So I know you get a big close-up of my hand, but okay, whoops. I didn't want that to happen. I wanted this to stay intact. There, okay. So when I take them out and kind of flip them over like this, oh my plates are in bad shape, guys. Well, for the most part, they're pretty much even. So when I take these apart, and there's a lot of little tiny bits, I'm just going to be cognizant of kind of keeping these in the direction they came off the plate. We're going to need this. I should use my brush. There's lots of little bits in these wreaths, and I know you might not want to watch me punch these out. I'm going to try and go as fast as I can. I'm poking myself with the pokey tool. I'm sacrificing my safety to do this fast. Okay, so see, when you cut these out, they come up a little bit. They kind of, they get a little dimension. So they kind of, it's nice. It gives a little 3D effect. Okay, now I'm going to keep this. I'm going to try and keep it to that point that we talked about where those two leaves are connected to each other. So see how they're right here? That was back to our little, I'm doing a horrible job talking about this, but that little area where I put my blue dot are where those two sets of leaves are connected. I'm doing a terrible job describing that, but anyway, trust me, in the long run, when you're putting these together, this will make sense if you have this set and you put it together. So same thing here, we're going to pop out our filler. And put all these out. I should just have grabbed my brush, but it's going to take me longer to get it out of the little compartment that it's in because something is sitting on top of it. So we're just going to have to go with the pokey tool, the take your pick tool, as it's also referred to. I'll just get all these poked out. There's a lot of detail in these dies, which I think is super cool. And like I said, they're little workhorses on their own. Okay, let me get all the, wonder if you could do something fun with that little piece. It kind of looks like a sun, or I don't know, something. I'm sure there's some creative mind out there that can find something cool to do with that. Okay, so now, okay, here are those leaves again, the two that are connected. And if you keep that straight, it will help you. So when you adhere this together, hold on one moment. I have to move it closer to me, you guys, because I literally can't see. When you assemble the wreath together, it just kind of helps you put it together even. Now, you don't have to put this wreath together even. You could even do it cattywampus if you want to. There's nothing saying you have to do it this way. But that just kind of helped me keep it straight. So I'm hoping visually that made more sense than me not doing a good job describing it. And don't get angry with me if I butchered how I said that. I'm trying to do two things at once, you guys. I can't do everything perfect. Okay, so I just put a couple dots of liquid glue, and now I'm gonna go in there and just, oh, where are they? Here they are. I moved this, and now I'm just gonna adhere them. This is just one of those videos that it sounds more complicated than it actually, I'm making it more complicated than it is. But anywho, hopefully, if anything, you'll remember those two sets of leaves that are connected as a matchup point, and see how it just lines up nice and evenly. Again, I know I didn't do a great job describing that, but hopefully visually you can kind of see what I mean. So it lines up really nicely, so you have a nice outline. And again, if you wanted to add more color, you could even put another wreath behind and maybe not line it up perfectly, just for a little more pop of color. It could be a little cattywampus, that would work too. But anyway, that's how it lines up nicely. And then what I did on my original card is I kind of went around the edges and just kind of got these little leaves. I'm not going to be really putsy with it, but I got them to kind of stand up a little bit, and I curled them a little with my fingers just to give them a little bit more dimension. So I'm not going to spend all the time in the world doing that right now, but you can kind of give it a lot of extra detail. Okay, let's go back to our wreaths. Now, another thing I want to point out, Jamie says she loves cattywampus. Yes. So I also want to point out this die set also will cut out the wreaths that are in the stamp set. And then there's all these fun little freestanding leaves, other leaves that will cut out leaves in the stamp set. So we're going to use, and one thing I love about this too, is they give you multiples of the same image. And for like what we're doing today, I love that. I'm going to take out 3 of these little branchy leaves, and then I have 2 leaves that are an outline image of a leaf, and I'm going to take those out. So I love that I have multiples because I can cut. Oh, and I also need a ribbon. There's 2 ribbons. There is 1 ribbon that will cut out the stamped image, and then there's 1 ribbon that's freestanding that adds a lot of detail. So we need that one. And I'm going to cut the ribbon in brushed metallic cardstock in gold, and then I'm going to cut out from So Saffron. I'm going to do 3 of these little branches and 2 of these little leaves, the outline leaves. We're going to try and get as much die cutting done as we can in one pass. And that's why I love having, whoa, hold on, that moved. That shifted. I fight with this little Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine sometimes because, first of all, I need to replace my plates. So I can't really see what's going on under there, but sometimes with these little teeny tiny images, it's a fight. Okay, so we have our detailed bow. I love this, and that little pop of gold just adds a little detail. And then I'm not going to worry about punching all these out right now. I'm just going to move all that over. We're going to do the same in soft suede. We're going to do the same. We're going to do 3 of the leafy and 2 of the leaf outline. So same thing. And then when I created this card, like I said, I was kind of going for a shabby chic kind of farmhouse kind of color palette. And like I said, I wouldn't normally put garden green in this mix, but I feel like it worked. So let's just move all these out of the way. So this is a card, again, it has these little pieces. If you're not somebody who loves little bits and pieces, you might not be a huge fan of this card, but I find this kind of fun to do. And I'm gonna, so as I mentioned, I did gray granite, So Saffron, garden green, popped in a little bit of soft suede for the wood look. And then I just felt like it needed a little bit more color. So I went with soft sea foam on a couple of leaves just to kind of bring in a little bit lighter color. I felt like it kind of helped the soft suede leaves pop a little bit. So I added the soft sea foam. I don't know, I was going to call it something else. I added the soft sea foam at the last minute just because I felt like it needed a little bit lighter color. Okay, so wasn't too bad on the die cutting, right? I like that we can cut a lot of multiples at once. And I think all this stuff is finally out. Okay, so now we assemble. And again, these are little teeny tiny pieces, so it might not be your jam, but with a little patience, I think anything is possible. I'm gonna grab my silicone mat. I always forget to use this. Okay, so I am gonna start out with my wreath, and now we have to start kind of assembling these leaves. So you can do a couple different things. I find putting a little tape runner on the back, oh, is this, I didn't know if I had any in there, on the back of your bow can be helpful to get started. So now what we're gonna do is just kind of start assembling. Oh, my stomach growled, you guys, sorry. So I kind of started with one of these soft suede outlines in the center of the bow, and then I went in with two of these little branchy leaves. Now, one thing that's always good to do when you're assembling like this is these are all going in the same direction. So what I like to do is sometimes flip them over so you get a little bit more interest. I'm gonna kind of pop that on the back. And that's why it's kind of nice to have a little bit of adhesive on the back of the bow as you start working. And you can add a little bit more. I just find a tape runner for this was a little bit easier than glue dots. But you could also use liquid glue if you want to, whatever works for you. And then I just started building. Pop another one on there. Oh, this is where we might start needing some liquid glue. So I'm just going to pop a little liquid glue on the back. Just a little bit goes a long way. And then just add another one. And then I'm kind of putting that on the side of my wreath. I'm going to hold off. The last two I'm going to do are going to be the soft sea foam. Okay, so now we'll go put a little more liquid glue on the bottom. Do you guys like working with small pieces, or does it drive you crazy? Tell me. I'd love to hear in the comments. I realize this kind of small detail stuff, it isn't, ooh, my little leaf is a little too long, so I need to snip the end. Here they are. Lost my paper snips. I know it's not for everybody, so it might not be your thing, but I mean, I don't think this is a card that I would make, you know, 100 of. That's for sure. But I do kind of like the detail. And see how just putting that little bit of tape runner and liquid glue just kind of helps you build the wreath up a little bit. Without too much of a mess. And so there you go. That's kind of what it looks like. Just putz with it a little bit to make it work. And then I am saving these leaves for the inside. I have two of the soft So Saffron outline leaves and one of the little spriggy leaves. We'll use that on the inside. They just happen to be extra on my original card, and I just kind of saved them for the inside. Okay, so now I am actually going to pop on here a Stampin' Dimensional to add this, but I want to be cognizant of, I might have to use minis. I'm going to use mini Stampin' Dimensionals, provided I can find them. Here it is. Okay, so I don't want them to be able to see them from the front to the back, so I'm just going to kind of pop them where they won't be seen and just kind of pop it up. It's obviously a lot easier to do when I can be right on top of it, but okay, so there we go. And that's just going to kind of pop in the corner of the wreath. And then what I'm going to do is go in with these two soft sea foam. You can use a glue dot if you want to, or you can use a little bit of glue, but I'm going to go in on the back and just kind of, oops, I got some glue on my hand, kind of pop these out to give a little bit more. See how the soft sea foam just kind of helps them pop a little bit? That's what I really felt like it needed. It just needed a little bit of a lighter color. So, and then we'll just sneak this in the very back and stick it down. So there you go. I know that's a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work for the wreath. I know. What do you guys think? Let's hear it. Too much work? Not enough? Want more detail? I'm sure we could do more detail if we wanted to. And then another thing that you can do is you can also go through with your Wink of Stella, and you can Wink of Stella all of your leaves. I probably will at the very end. That's the kind of detail work that I won't do on a video just because it's very time consuming. But I would go ahead and add a little sparkle to these because everything's better with sparkle, you guys. So now that we have our little details done, I'm doing a bad job describing things today. I'm sorry. I think a lot of people left. They were like, yeah, all right, I'm out of here. This girl is taking too long. Okay, now as I mentioned on my original card, I popped this up because there's so much depth here on the wreath. For mailing purposes, I am going to just stick this one down. So I'm going to go through, and the only place I'm adding glue is in the center of the wreath. Samantha says she loves Wink of Stella. I do too. I feel like Wink of Stella is like, it's the finishing touch for every card. It's like fairy dust. I feel like it's just one of those things that every little card needs a little pop of it. Okay, so I just went ahead and put a couple little drops all around the middle. And now I got to get this right the first time so I don't smear my glue. And I'm just going to pop it down and stick it to the card. So, and I just had those first couple leaves kind of overlapping, whoops, the board a little bit. So it kind of gave the illusion it was hanging there. Okay, give that a second to just kind of adhere and dry. And then I needed a little hardware, needed a little bling bling. So I used these, well, here's something fun fact. So in the mini catalog, they're labeled red and green adhesive back pearls, which is kind of crazy because you look at it and you're like, where's the red? There's the red. So they're labeled red and green adhesive back pearls on the packaging, but in the catalog, they're labeled festive pearls. So these are kind of cool because they're red, looks like soft sea foam, and then some silver and some gold. So these are really nice, and I thought they would make a nice accent for our little wreath board. And it's just a little bit. Normally I'm kind of heavy-handed with embellishments, but on this one I felt like less was more because again, our wreath is really stealing the show on this. And that little pop of gold adds so much detail. And I don't feel like you really need a bow or anything else like that on here because I really feel like the leaf does a lot of the heavy lifting for this card. So the front of the card is finished. Now we'll quickly finish the inside. And this is a thinking of you card. So whoever wins this card is going to be like, oh, yeah, that's the card that took that girl forever to put together. Yes, it is. Okay, Barbara, hi, nice to see you. I'd drop the Wink of Stella and add tiny metallic gold drops. Yep, you could absolutely do that too. There's lots of ways to add some added sparkle to that. So that is another great tip. And I'm just putting, you could put adhesive sheets on the back of these tiny little things, but they really just need the tiniest little dot of liquid glue to get them to hold. Barbara says she's not crazy about Wink of Stella. You know what I found? There are either Wink of Stella lovers or Wink of Stella haters. Sometimes, I think it depends. I think just like everything, it has a time and a place. Sometimes it's not right for every project, but that's funny. And thank you so much. She says your card is beautiful. Thank you. It's a little putsy today, and I hesitated because I'm like, oh, this is a complicated one to put together on a video, but I know some people like lots of details. I'm one of those people, so I like to see other people's process. So even if it might not be, you know, a lot of detail like you would like, maybe you'll just like enjoy seeing it put together. Okay, so like I said, I had some extra, so I just kind of accessorized the inside with them. You could easily stamp. It would probably be a lot easier than putting these little tiny ones on with liquid glue, but you know, we're in it now. So I figure at this stage of the game, We've already spent the time. Let's just go for it. I know this video is going long, sorry. And I just trimmed off a little bit of the excess, so it kind of gives this fun falling leaves. And I just love it. It's a very subtle detail, but I just think it's so pretty and delicate. I don't know. Like I said, for some people it might be, I'm going to use this since it's out. So I'm going to adhere the inside to my card. And we can wrap this up. What do you guys think? What do you think of the color combo? It's very different than what I've used in the past. I guess I could have put some green on the inside too, but oops, maybe I can write in green pen. My garden green marker is what I'd write the note in. Cut off the excess. Okay, pop that in there. Forgot I didn't use liquid glue, so I have to hit that right the first time. So there you have it. Super pretty. Now, let me put the original card in. So the original card, I had popped this layer up on Stampin' Dimensionals. I actually, for mailing purposes, I do like it a little bit flatter. What do you guys think? But anywho, that is our Cottage Wreath card with this kind of farmhouse color combo of gray granite, garden green, so saffron, a little bit of soft suede, and then a little soft seafoam just to kind of make everything pop a little bit. So anywho, I hope you love this card today. I know it was lots of little bits and pieces and it might not be for everyone. However, I think the end result is beautiful and I hope you like it. So if you want measurements and a supply list for this card, they're going to be listed over on my blog. There's a link in the description of the video. And oh, Samantha, go enjoy your dinner. Barbara says she loves it. Karen, thank you. It's so pretty. Thank you so much, you guys. So if you love this card, hit the like button, hit the heart button. I love seeing that. And if you don't like the card, don't hit the angry face, though. That makes me sad. I realize it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but you can hopefully still appreciate the work that went into it, right? All right. And again, here's our fun little decorated inside. Super cute, right? I don't know. Hope you love this today. Again, this is a little bit more of a detail-oriented one, but I like it. I hope you do too. And I appreciate you joining me today for Facebook Live. So I plan to be back on Friday at 4 p.m. Central. I hope you can join me then. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're watching football or any other kind of sports today, I hope you enjoy going back to that. If you're creating, go have some fun stamping. And I will talk to y'all soon. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.